kind of a surprise. We're thrilled. Nobody really, we've been hard to keep this a secret, but Joan Bauer is here tonight. And she's also a screenwriter and a member of the Writers Guild of America. I haven't seen you at any of the meetings. Anyway, so now I'd like to welcome her back to the podium to present our Feature Film Awards.
Steven Spielberg said that when he began as a director, a very, very young director, he thought that making movies was about bossing his friends around, and everybody had to do what he said. And then he said when he got older, and he realized that it was collaboration at its absolute utmost, he was stunned every day at how he couldn't do what he did without this army of people there to be part of it. And so as we honor these movies, we are honoring great collaboration in television and in film. And our first two winning movies are Creed and The Dropbox. And in Creed, Rocky Balboa is a lonely widower when Adonis Creed, the son of his late friend Apollo, shows up looking for a mentor. And through their relationship, Rocky regains a sense of purpose in his life, while Adonis gains the caring father figure that he desperately needs. And for The Dropbox, filmmaker Brian Ivey traveled to South Korea to shoot a documentary about a pastor who built a Dropbox for unwanted disabled babies onto his home and church because these children are often abandoned on the streets to die. This pastor and his wife found homes for the babies and even adopted 18 themselves. And to date, they have saved over 600 children. I know, it's just a moment of just taking that in. The production teams of Creed and The Dropbox couldn't be with us tonight, so we accept the awards on their behalf with great gratitude. And our third film winner is The Martian from 20th Century Fox. And the poor people who sat behind me and my husband when we watched this movie, because I kept saying to my husband, who is an engineer, could they really do that? I mean, is that the science of it? Because it's just, I love this movie so much. Stranded on Mars because of his fellow astronauts believe he died in a windstorm, Mark Watney uses his science and botany background to stay alive. He manages to grow potatoes and work with NASA machinery, all while listening to the disco classics one of his crewmates left behind. When the world discovers that Mark survived, nations come together to save him, even though he is 30 million miles away from home and no GPS. Ultimately, The Martian is an uplifting film about achieving the impossible through ingenuity, initiative, and cooperation. And if you haven't seen it, I promise you, you will never think about a potato the same way again. Excepting for director Ridley Scott is the senior publicist for 20th Century Fox, Todd Mahalik. And from A24 Films' Room, oh, what a powerful movie. Held captive by a sexual predator for nearly a decade, Joy Newsom and her 5-year-old son, Jack, are confined to a one-room shed. While Joy sustains Jack with love, he gives her hope for the future. Joy and love. Hope that's born out when her escape plan finally works. Readjusting to normal life brings challenges when Joy feels unfairly judged by others, and Jack finds himself both scared of the outside world and awed by its beauty. The powerful bond between mother and son proves tougher than any challenges, though allowing them both to move forward together. And accepting for director Lenny Abramson is the creative executive in production and acquisitions at A24 Films, Jeannie Igo. And that concludes the presentation of our Feature Film Awards. We thank the winners for their vision and their creativity.